All right, and we're back with another episode of The Hunger Games, and in honor of the remake of Masters of the Universe coming out today, and I'm going to upload this today, so we'll just go with today. I have a guest with me who wanted to talk about the 1987 Masters of the Universe. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks for having me. My name's Angel Acevedo, and I'm a fan of the 1987 Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. Like I remember as a kid, I thought it was really fun, and you and I were talking about we're doing like every time I do these episodes for an older movie, I do the rewatch. Like I'm a big fan of the rewatch method, and so I had to I rewatched it, and then I had to rewind to the final 30 minutes and rewatch the final 30 minutes again, and then again. I did it again this morning for my third time, and I'm like, am I missing something? Is this movie supposed to be good? But it's not supposed to be good.
I think it wanted to be good.
Yeah.
I think it wanted to be something else as well, and we can talk about that some more. I think it wanted to be a Star Wars movie. I feel like a lot of, I don't want to say homages, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff that they steal from the Star Wars movies that they try to put in there.
Absolutely, the soldiers that have the all black uniforms almost look like mini Darth Vaders.
Yeah, they're just kind of like mini Darth Vaders and stormtroopers, and there's a lot of laser blasters too. And I used to watch the original cartoon, the original 1983 cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being much blasters, and He-Man didn't really use a blaster, if I recall. He was the swords guy.
Right.
He had a sword, so
which is called what? The Sword of Grayskull? Is that what it is? I think it is.
I believe so.
Yeah. There's a lot of funky names in this movie and this Masters of the Universe lore. Like Skeletor, He-Man, the Sword of Grayskull. I'm not remembering the little theroll guy's name, but he's hilarious.
Gwildor.
There you go. This is why I have you on, because I don't know half of these things. And there's also the movie starts out and they're in what's the name of the world that they're in? Eternia, that's right. Which ends up becoming a little pearl snow globe at the end of the movie, where he's like, "We'll always have Eternia."
Yes.
So they're in Eternia, and they set up this whole Skeletor, and I think her name is Evil Lynn.
Yes, that's one of his hench persons.
Yeah, and they steal the sorceress's powers, I believe, and then he goes into this whole takeover mode, right?
Yes, I mean, like any good sort of mastermind villain, they want to take over the world, the planet, wherever they are, and he kidnaps the sorceress, and who basically resides in Castle Grayskull, which is where basically 90% of the Eternia scenes take place, which is that really lavish set.
Yeah, that huge castle.
That that's very much a studio soundstage, but it looks great. So she resides in that, and yeah, he just wants to rule Eternia.
And then suddenly it flips to Earth, right? They just magically go to Courtney Cox and her boyfriend are in a car at a drive-through or something, and they're eating a bucket of ribs, I think it is.
No, that was not. Yeah, so we don't see them till a little bit later. No, that was okay. So that's the problem I feel with this movie a bit, and the cartoon was. I love the cartoon. It was great. The movie doesn't touch a lot on sort of. It's a very sort of loose adaptation of that. And you don't get the He-Man's alter ego is not in it, which is Prince Adam.
Okay. Which I think, as I've seen from the marketing, this remake, they're doing a lot more of the Prince Adam.
Yes, you get that in the new one from Amazon MGM. But yeah, this one, again, it's just they wanted to make this sort of big budget sci-fi fantasy epic in the vein of Star Wars and some other movies before it, but it just did not really land. I think that some things just didn't translate in whatever it was that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think they wanted a bigger budget, but they didn't. So it's okay, well, we can maybe do 10% of the movie set in Eternia, and then but everything else is going to be set on Earth.
We're gonna film in like a few streets, and like towards the end of the movie, it looks like they're in what might be like the San Fernando Valley or something. I mean, it just I might have recognized a street sign or some houses. So then they get to like, I thought it was funny because there's a few scenes where there's just this like bucket of food. They're eating the bucket of food in the car, and she's kind of trying to like say goodbye to her boyfriend, sort of thing. And then later there's a scene where remind me of the troll's name again?
Gwildor.
Did you remember there's a scene early where like Gwildor then gets to Earth? I'm flashing forward many minutes of this movie now, but Gwildor gets to Earth, and he like there's a scene where the camera cuts to the overhead of the car, and he just like uses something to like yank the bucket of ribs out of the car.
Grappling claw.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie because he uses the grappling claw, and then they're just like all there, and they're like Eternia like space gear, just like eating ribs, and they're like, what are these white things in it? And like one of the guys like says that, oh, like we're eating animals, and the lady's like super grossed out by it. And I thought for like 1987 that was hilarious because like now people would be really grossed out by eating ribs, but like 1987 I just don't imagine that.
I guess they were vegans in Eternia, but
Eternia only ate plants.
Yes. I don't know how they could do that with like, or how He-Man could do that with that physique
with all his muscle.
Yeah.
So another thing I loved, which is at the beginning of the movie, like you see He-Man pretty early before they kind of cut to the Earth scenes. And like, I don't know, maybe this was in the cartoon, maybe this is in the toys. He-Man's cape like droops like below the back of his shoulder line. And I'm like, has anybody seen, like, did the costume designer ever see like a cape or Batman or like, shouldn't it be on his shoulder line?
Yeah.
Maybe they just wanted to show how strong Dolph Lundgren is.
I think they were like, oh, let's show some skin though. And also he doesn't have a cape in the toy. At least I don't know the toy line by like heart. I had a couple toys, action figures. I had a sword, but in the cartoon though, I don't remember him wearing a cape.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. He's just like strong with a shirt.
I think it was just probably, I'm sure it was like a producer thing. A producer knows like, hey, let's like make this a little bit more swords and sandally, and let's get a cape and it's visually cool. I don't know, or maybe it was a Dolph Lundgren-esque. Who knows? But yeah, there's obviously some differences there from the cartoon, the toys, and to the movie.
Yeah. So like as I was rewatching this movie, and I don't think I'd ever watched it in its entirety. I was born in '87, so this movie like was something that was on TV for me a lot as a kid, and I remember watching bits and pieces of it.
Yep.
So I'm doing this rewatch this week, and I'm like in the middle of the movie. My initial thoughts were like, God, this is peak '80s trash. But like as I kept watching it, like you're talking about, there's definitely like some redeeming qualities. Like it didn't land fully, but like some of the stuff is really cool. Some of the action scenes, especially for '80s, for like what is intended to be a kid's movie. I think it's rated PG, although there's like bloody faces and like a creepy Skeletor. Is like fun and family, like action adventure stuff. And I think Dolph Lundgren actually did it. Like, I don't want to give him too much credit because it's Dolph Lundgren, but I think he did a pretty good job, like kind of carrying the movie because he's in a lot of the movie.
He is. And I feel like this is around the time when he started like blowing up too and was learning English. And I feel like he didn't have like a line that was like more than 5 words at a time.
Yeah.
They was just like, he'd say a line, and then someone else.
And then they cut to Courtney Cox or something.
Yeah, cut to Courtney Cox or cut to someone's reaction or someone else said something. So like he didn't really like have a lot to say.
But his presence was like, he's big.
Yeah.
And his presence was there.
His presence was there. And, I think he did what he can and he held the sword pretty well.
Yeah, no, he did. And like some of those fight scenes, especially the ones at the end, like back in the castle, are really cool. I thought they were really cool. So like my mind shifted from middle of the rewatch, like this is peak '80s trash, to like, okay, like I could see where people were really like latching onto this, especially like if you're a kid, probably age 5 to 15 when this movie came out, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. Like I think another thought that crossed my mind when I finished watching this is normally I'm not a fan of like, let's remake all these movies because I feel like Hollywood's lost creativity and we just remake everything. They're like, How to Train Your Dragon now needs to be like a live action, and Moana was just made. Let's make it like I'm not generally into the remake culture, if you will. But when I got to the end of this movie, I'm like, oh, you know what? Like I could see why they want to remake this because you could actually do it a lot bigger and cooler with like today's VFX and today's acting.
Yeah. I think so too. I was actually surprised. So like I did an episode. I have a podcast where we break down trailers and talk about upcoming movies and look at these trailers to see what works and what doesn't, and if we would see the movie. We did an episode on it earlier this year, and that was a big no. Well, one of my first things was like, I'm surprised it's taken so long for them to remake this.
Yeah, like 40 years.
It's almost 40 years. Yeah. But not to go on a tangent of the new movie.
Go on the tangent. Go on.
But like the new one, it just they have bigger budgets, more advanced visual effects, and whatever, better acting. But it feels like the new one was made in the 2010s. Just on sort of like the look of it, it's a lot of VFX and stuff, which, VFX has its place, but I feel like, like something like this, could be just as good or even better if you have a lot of practical sets and practical whatever makeup effects and things like this. And it looks like there are some creatures and things that are practical, but there's a lot of just like, all right, green screen sets and environments and things like that, which sort of takes you out of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least for me. And it just has this look of like, I don't know, around the time when they made the first Transformers movies or G.I. Joe, and it just has that sort of like 20 teens look of a movie. It's like 10 years 10 to 12 years late.
Too late. Yeah. No, I totally agree. So like them remaking this is cool. I'm going to see this remake pretty soon. You said you're going to see it pretty soon too. I saw Dolph Lundgren's name is on the remake on the IMDb page, but they didn't have a character name for him. So I'm curious to see how or if he's even in this remake. I would love to see like a cameo of like, I was the old He-Man and you are now He-Man. Like,
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, that's like always sort of like the MO of like, okay, we're remaking this movie, but let's throw in a cameo of the original guy or whatever it is.
Yeah, let's pay tribute to the guy that did it before 39 years ago.
Yeah.
So the other big takeaways from the 1987 movie for me are just the overall like bad acting around like the main story. So like Frank Langella plays Skeletor.
Yes.
And he's great, by the way.
He is.
In the movie. He's great. Now, there's a lot of bad acting around it. Like, Dolph is good. Courtney Cox is okay. And everybody else is like, I don't know what the hell is happening here. But Frank Langella has these scenes where I feel like he's almost overacting, and that feels bad because, like, everybody else is just so bad around him at acting in this movie. And then he's got, like, his moments, especially at the beginning and end, where he's just, like, nailing the Skeletor role. And, like, I remember being creeped out as a kid, and I was like creeped out when I was rewatching it by like they did such a good job with his like face and like make it like it doesn't. I always love like movie ratings. Like I believe this was PG in 1987,
yes.
And like if I was 5 years old watching this in 1987, Skeletor would have scared the shit out of me. Like, did you think like his makeup and mask were like creepy when you were rewatching it?
I mean, rewatching it, no. I mean, I do remember like when I was little, I was like, oh, that is kind of creepy looking. But I think that goes back to like the prosthetics. It looks real. You can sort of feel it and touch it. It has texture. So I think he's like one of the best parts of the movie, even though he's probably overacting. You say, oh, he's overacting, but like, colorful villains like that, when those characters, they need to be big and loud.
Yeah, you need it.
Yeah, and he probably needed to overact when he was behind that makeup, because there are times when he's like saying, he's giving some speeches and yelling at his minions to do something. Sometimes that mouth wasn't really moving.
Yeah, not at all. You're like, who's talking here?
Yeah, and there's a lot of like moment I noted like rewatching this. I haven't watched this in like a long time, but like there's just a lot of bad ADR.
A lot, especially when Dolph Lundgren turns his back to the camera. There's some really like obvious, like there's some moments where he turns his back to the camera to start a line, and then the camera will cut to his face, and it just sounds like he was just like in the most amazing like audio booth, just like giving this like legendary like "I'm here for you" sort of like line, and then it gets back to like the blah 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 blah, like like it's just ridiculous, the ADR. I'm glad you picked up on that too.
Yeah, there's even points where it's like there's a moment, I think it's in the graveyard scene with Courtney Cox and her boyfriend, and she's like hugging her boyfriend, just like she's reminiscent about her parents or whatever. And they add a line. Her mouth is not moving. It's like you have to kind of see, but her, like, she's embracing her and her mouth is sort of covered, but like the camera like moves up a bit to him and like she says something, but like I rewound. I was like, wait, I don't think she was saying anything there. It was like they just added they added that line, and there were a couple instances too. I was like, wow, they just like ADR'd this stuff. And even like there was one point where like Tila, one of He-Man's friend, the female character, said something, and then like they just literally changed the last word that she said. And it was like, oh, they were just like throwing ADR.
They were just all over the place.
They were just like ADR and everything. But
Another character I really liked, and I don't know the character's name, was the bald white gentleman who's the police officer, the old guy.
Oh, James Tolkien.
Yeah,
from Back to the Future.
He was fucking hilarious because his acting was so bad that it was like good around all the other bad actors, that he's kind of like leading this whole charge of like, I need to get this device and I need to get these people and I need to save like the citizens. And we're like, it's funny because like everybody else is trying to like save the universe or Eternia or the world, and he's just like trying to do like the good like buddy cop. He's like, I'm a cop.
Yeah,
I'm here to cop.
Yeah, well, he starts off as like this like tough cop, and he's like, I'm gonna get you guy, I don't trust you, and then it just like then he becomes like this like goofy cop in the last half or last third.
Yeah, the last like 15-20 minutes, he's kind of like, okay, I'm kind of your friend now. Oh shit, we're in Eternia. Like,
yeah.
There was another funny thing that I noticed. So like I don't know if it was Courtney Cox's car or the boyfriend's car, but there's like this pink car that they're driving throughout the movie.
Oh yeah, I forget where that. I think
it might be her car.
I don't think it's her car.
Okay.
I think Gwildor steals it.
It's just another very 80s part of this movie where there's just
Yeah.
like this pink car driving around.
Yeah.
And then her boyfriend's driving around, and then you get to like they finally like crack the portal. What do you remember the name of the device? I'm like
Cosmic key.
The cosmic key. And it's funny how like in the beginning of the movie, her boyfriend's like saying it's a synthesizer. This is very 80s storyline. Like, oh, it's a synthesizer, and he's like pressing the buttons and stuff. And then at the end of the movie, it kind of like comes together with this like terrible but great theme music.
No, yeah, the music's great in the movie. That's
It
like
is.
one of the great. Bill Conti did the music.
Okay.
Who I believe did Rocky.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like the music in the movie stands out.
It's good. That theme, that tune that he plays. So then he gets the keyboard, and he's like, he tells Gwildor like, I can do this, like I can play this. And then he plays the keyboard, but like he doesn't. They don't like show a single shot of him like actually playing the keyboard, other than there's one shot where he like runs his finger across the keys, and then Gwildor like doesn't even touch the keyboard and runs his finger across the keys, and it makes it like
Yeah.
And then they get to like the playing and like the whole like rigged setup of the cosmic key. And it's funny, like they don't even show him playing the keyboard. They kind of like just take the camera out a little bit so you can't see his hands. But he plays the tune and he gets the portal open. And then they just like suddenly like they cut to the like Castle Grayskull or whatever it is. And like there's just the pink car is like chopped in half.
Oh yes, because they kind of just like that portion gets transported.
Yeah.
And
It's so good. I'm like looking at I pause it, I'm looking at the pink car. I'm like, oh my God, they just took half a car. I don't know if it was a prop or they cut the car in half, but like there's just half a car.
yeah, the whole thing with the cosmic key is just kind of like a mess and doesn't sort of make sense. It's like it's used to transport, I guess, open portals, but then like I don't understand why Skeletor needed two of them, because he
Right.
had one,
Yeah.
but then there was another one.
They don't really explain a lot of that. Or they don't even really explain like his big master plan to take over. He's just like, I have the sorceress's powers. I'm going to take over.
Yeah, and it's sort of also the device is also sort of a tracking device too, because like when it's used, they can they can see it and then they lock in and go to where they are. But yeah,
It's weird.
It
Well,
is-
and there's another really ridiculous scene around it where Courtney Cox's parents are like dead for most of the movie, and then Evil Lynn like makes Courtney Cox see Evil Lynn as like her mom, and it's like this very obvious setup like 80s crap scene where it's like she's pretending to be the mom, but like the mom's dead, so it's really obvious. But like Courtney Cox is like, I miss my parents. Oh, this is so sad. and she like convinces Courtney Cox like run in the apartment like down the alley real quick and like go steal the cosmic key and then brings it back. And she's like, ha ha ha, I got you. The other thing I thought was ridiculous about the design of the cosmic key, especially when you see it early in the movie, is it looks like just some like slowly spinning tuning forks.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was crazy, but like I wanted to say like they look like tuning forks.
They do. Yes. Yeah, it's an interesting device, and I mean that cosmic key. If I recall, it's not in the cartoon.
I was gonna say, is it like was it a toy? Maybe. I mean, it must have been a toy.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know if it was ever featured in the show, the cartoon.
I don't
if
remember.
It wasn't like that.
I don't remember it from the cartoon at all.
But
yeah, cosmic key is ridiculous, and it's like
sort of just like a MacGuffin device in a way.
It is, and then it also becomes like literally the entire plot of the movie.
Yeah, it's just like their way of like, okay, how do we get these two worlds to connect? Because we can't film in this fictional. We don't have the budget to film in Eternia and the whole movie. So let's bring it to Earth, and for 90% of the movie, and so there's like, well, we can have a device that transport this world to that world. And
I would have loved to be in a writer's room with like the writer or writers and producer of when they landed on the name Cosmic Key.
It's
like,
a good name.
I mean, it's a good name, but they must have thrown like 40 better ideas at it. And they're like, you know what? Let's just go with something that makes sense. Cosmic Key. That'll bridge the worlds.
Yeah. It if you look at it closely and then you see who's involved in making the movie, you can kind of see some, sort of, you get why maybe, or understand where they're coming from. So the director of this, Gary Goddard, this is his only feature film that he's directed, but he's been involved with a lot of projects at theme parks.
Oh, wow.
So doing those like pre-ride videos, or maybe you remember the Terminator 3D
Yeah.
experience
at like
ride?
Universal? Yeah.
He wrote that whole thing.
I've seen that like 4 times because I love Terminator.
That was a great.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's a ride because you just
no, it's
sit
just
in the
like
theater.
this weird experience.
Yeah, it's just like it's a mini movie, but in 3D and really cool, like 4DX sort of like environment.
Yeah.
With like elements hitting you. Anyways, so like he's done a few of these. He was involved in the Jurassic Park ride, and so, but I don't know. This Cosmic Key just feels like a sort of like theme park plot device.
Yeah, like a theme park, like franchise, like merchandise plot device.
Yeah, it's like if you go into this ride, it's like, oh, we got to get this device to do this and help these characters, and then you ride the ride, and then
we're gonna save the world. Yeah,
and then that's it. So
the Cosmic Key, exactly. That's hilarious.
But yeah, the movie was, I think at the time, the movie bombed.
Super bombed.
It didn't make money. It wanted to, I'm sure. But I think like the purists of He-Man were like, this is not like a He-Man movie.
Yeah,
you got Skeletor, you got He-Man, but like, where's Battle Cat?
Where are the other characters?
Yeah, like Battle Cat was a major character with, He-Man. Though, like I feel like you could sort of see why maybe they didn't do that, because like one production, like that's a huge, because Battle Cat was this tiger that spoke.
Right. Yeah, that would have been a little tough in '87.
Yes, realistic, green tiger.
Probably would have looked a little like the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz with like an attack mode.
And He-Man rode it, rode Battle Cat.
Right.
And so like that's a big omission. And so like this is their I feel like this is their Star Warsified version of He-Man.
Very Star Wars. There's like a fight scene in the middle of the movie when they're like on Earth and like He-Man's using the blaster and the sword at the same time. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yes. There's a lot of like I didn't look into like, oh, were these sound designers on the Star Wars movies? Because there was a lot of like, I noticed a lot of sound effects that reminded me of stuff
that almost felt like copied, like lifted. Yeah.
Yes, like when the pink car drove, it sounded like X-wings, like or like the Millennium Falcon, like sound effects, like flying.
A lot of sound effects were similar.
Yeah,
and then like also thing that like reminded me of Star Wars but wasn't Star Wars is just like they had these like kind of like hover tanks that like,
oh yes,
which are really cool by the way. Like for '87, I don't know how they did it. I'm sure I know how they did it because the camera didn't go below the the crafts or whatever,
Yeah.
and they're not showing the wheels that are probably under them. But like Evil Lynn, like just like transports through her cosmic key gate, like in one of these things, and it's like a transport thing, and then Skeletor's got like a bigger one when he comes through near the end.
Yeah.
And like those things were awesome.
Yeah. What was not awesome were the floating, or like the
Oh my god, the guys
like,
flying on the discs.
yeah.
Those are ridiculous because like the way they filmed it, it's like so choppy and not real. And then as soon as like He-Man steals one and he starts flying on it, and as soon as they show him flying on it, they just cut to a close up of him where he's clearly just standing there with a fan blowing in his face.
Yes.
Like he's definitely not flying. It's so obvious like what they did, but like they tried to make it cool. They
Yeah.
just
Well, those wide shots of like the guys on like the little disc flying surfboard things, whatever, were yeah. I guess it's from '87, but it's just like it's really bad, and like the shots of like He-Man flying in it, it's like they took a still photo of him and just like moved it around.
and they just moved it. Yeah, it's
And
ridiculous.
it's like he's not moving.
Not at all, yeah. So like if you had to recommend this movie to people now, like let's say somebody is seeing the remake and they've never seen the original, would you recommend it?
Yeah, I mean, I it's hard because like, you know, He-Man is for a certain sort of audience. I think it's very nostalgia.
It's nostalgia, it's genre specific, and it's also like very fun and adventure-y.
Yeah. I would recommend if you're like, if you want to watch a good bad movie and like have some beers, for sure.
If you're into
and
like
if you're like into Dolph Lundgren, if you've never seen like this one, yeah. But you know,
not the best movie.
no, for sure.
If you had to give it a letter grade, I'll give it a letter grade right now. I'll give it a C.
Yeah, I'd give it a C as well. But yeah,
But there's a place for C movies. Like, let me give context to that. I watch every Fast and Furious movie like religiously, and I don't give a shit how bad they are because they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, people have guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
And like the thing is like, oh, would I recommend? I wouldn't recommend this movie to anyone.
Right.
Like I'm not recommending it to my wife.
Right.
I think I would need to know who the person is.
Right. Okay.
What
That's
their
fair.
tastes are.
Yeah, totally.
This is a movie for like 40-year-old guys who like
Who like grew up in the 80s
grew
or
up the
90s.
80s
yeah,
and loved
like,
the cartoon
right.
and loved those like just like cheesy action movies.
Like you said, also people that might be into Dolph Lundgren or like just like watching like old 80s movies. Like, oh, you're like, oh, I didn't know Courtney Cox was in this like 80s sci-fi fantasy movie. Like, like that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's not like, one thing I talk about on a lot of my episodes is it's not a long movie, which I actually give a lot of credit. I don't care if the movie was made in the 60s or 80s or like the last 3 months. If you can give me a movie that's an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, even if it's not great, at least I'm not investing like 2.5 hours into this shit where it's like, okay, well now 2.5 hours later, I just watched Master of the Universe and that was garbage. Like at least you can get in and out of this in like, I think it was like an hour and 35 minutes or something, like maybe an hour 40.
Yeah, I think it's an hour 40.
Yeah, and which to me, like I put that as like a big plus when I'm rating movies because like, okay, you might not like the movie, but like you're not investing 2 hours into this shit, which I think is incredible because nowadays when we go to movie theaters, it's 2.5 hour movies, it's half-hour trailers, it's a 3.5 to 4 hour adventure.
Yeah.
This you can like I by the way, if anybody's listening to this and wants to watch this, it's free with ads on YouTube. It's free on the Roku channel right now.
And it's also on Amazon Prime. That's where I watched it.
There you go. It's on Amazon Prime.
I have it on Blu-ray, and I would prefer to watch it on disc, physical media. I'm a physical media guy.
Me too.
But I recently had to pack up my man cave office.
That's fair.
So all my Blu-ray bins are in the attic. So I was like, crap, I can't find that.
I got like there's those 2 bins that you can't see in that are like in my under my TV. I have like Blu-rays and video games pretty much. But I love physical media. And I think again, anybody listening, if you're into media, physical media is big. I think like we're seeing a shift in like the streaming rights now. And so I keep preaching physical media to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And not just movie like I'm gonna start collecting like vinyl again and like other like I just think that like there's a place and time for like the streaming and the digital, and there's a place and time for like popping in a disc or like popping on a record, or like I would love to get a CD collection going again too, although I don't know how quickly I'd scratch those things up, but those things used to scratch so fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was telling you this before we started recording. and I think we should get into it. We've been talking a little bit about Dolph Lundgren, and I always try to run my games through a filter through somebody else just to make sure I'm not like, because I'm very weird with some of these games, and I'll just be like, oh, I could do this, and like I try to make them somewhat fair. So like we were talking about before, if you don't know an answer, you don't want to answer it, you can just tell me, I don't know, I want to pass. I'll try to give you a clue on some of them, but we're going to do a quick and fun to wrap this
Are
episode
these
up.
multiple choice?
No,
or-
not at all.
I'm terrible at trivia, so
That's okay. That's all right.
this might be a short segment.
Which is crazy because like this first, well, just go as long as the questions are. And if you get 0, don't feel bad. It's okay. Some of them are pretty hard, and Dolph Lundgren's not like some big known actor, so I just thought it'd be fun to like go into some of who he is by getting into these questions.
I'm not a Dolph Lundgren sort of aficionado. So
That's fair. And
I've seen his whole library, but
I kind of
filmography.
I am a little bit. I was looking through it. I'm like, oh, he was in all those Universal Soldier movies, which like no one in their right mind should have watched. I've seen at least 2 of them, and they're terrible, but like they're also really entertaining.
Yeah.
So but I don't know how, because my dad like shouldn't have gotten this, because my dad swears by it that the last good movie they made was Shawshank Redemption, so he doesn't pay attention to like any movies anymore. What was Dolph Lundgren's first movie?
First movie, like just
Yeah, first feature film.
that he was like the lead.
No,
or
just
in,
in.
in a like a
Like
bit part.
I'll give you some hints.
What
So
year was it?
85. And so
85.
he is listed as a character, but it also says on some pages as like, I think on his Wikipedia filmography, it said the character and then it said like cameo. He's barely in this movie.
Okay, 85.
So I think Rocky 4 came out later that year. So to help you, it's not Rocky 4.
Yeah, I mean that's not a cameo. I wouldn't.
No, yeah, he was like a lead in that.
Yeah,
He crushed that
I mean,
movie.
he's the villain. Let's see. Dolph Lundgren's first.
This is
role,
tough. I started with a
85.
tough question. I'm sorry.
All good. All good. Let's see. Do you have?
I can give you more hints if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah. Like
Um,
who's the code? Who's like who's the star of the movie?
well, if I give you the star, it's going to give it away a little bit, but it's a spy movie.
It's a spot. Oh, okay. So it's one of the James Bond movies.
It is.
Is it License to Kill?
No,
No,
it's,
that's later.
but you're close. It's A View to a Kill,
View. Okay.
which is crazy that like his first movie he was in with Roger Moore. And I was going to say Roger Moore, but that just gives like, because what else has Roger Moore been in?
That's true.
I mean, I am sure Roger Moore's been in a lot because obviously he had earned the role, but
yeah.
I wasn't around back then. Okay. So the
What was
one,
his character name?
you know
was
what?
just probably just
I
some,
think
like,
I think it's
minion?
a KGB henchman or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Name Dolph's character in Rocky 4, and for bonus points, say one of his most famous lines.
Well, he's Carl Drago.
Ivan Drago.
Oh, Ivan Drago.
Yep.
Is Carl?
Maybe the son. I don't
That's
know.
the son. Okay, Ivan Drago.
They did Creed 2, and then like they had the whole.
Yes.
So he has this line. I'm thinking of a specific line to help
I'll
you.
break you.
Yeah, that's he goes.
I break you.
He goes up to. I rewatched it. I pulled up the YouTube clip because I think it's so amazing. And he walks up. They do like they're about to do the touch gloves shit, and like he just towers over Stallone.
He does. He's
like,
huge.
Most people don't realize Stallone like is a big guy on camera, but he's not like the tallest big guy. Like he's a big guy, but he's not the tallest big guy. And he goes, "I must break you."
I must break you.
It's so. I thought it was like I will break you, but
That's what I thought it was.
yeah, he's like, I must break you. And it's so good because like Dolph looks so young and so like jacked and they're all like sweaty as shit.
Yeah.
And he's, I must break you. Okay, this one's really random. Dolph has a master's degree. What field is his master's
Oh,
degree?
I've heard that. It's like biochemistry or
Yeah, you're pretty-
astrophysics.
No,
or
you were
something
pretty
like
close.
that.
He has a chemical engineering degree.
Chemical.
I'll count that as correct. My dad needed a hint, and my dad goes chemistry, and I'm like, that also is correct. Chemical engineering. I was also reading Dolph Lundgren suppostly has like an IQ of 160 or
Yeah,
something.
he's smart as
Like
hell.
super smart,
Yeah.
which is incredible because you look at him and he's the stereotypical like big meathead,
Mm-hmm.
like European, like I'm here to like rock things up a little bit, but he's a genius. Speaking of rock things up a little bit, this is one of the IMDb trivia questions. Dolph worked as a bouncer in New York City with this actor who was in A Bronx Tale. If you don't know A Bronx Tale, this is tough.
De Niro, not De Niro.
No,
He's not working as a bouncer.
It's the other guy.
Hold on.
Take your time. Think about it. So I would say the main two characters in A Bronx Tale are this young kid, Colergino, who I think is De Niro's character's son. And then there's this mobster played by another guy who's kind of getting the son involved with some shady work, but also giving him a lot of life advice. Not a really famous actor, Chaz Palminteri.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, really?
So I guess supposedly Dolph was a bouncer in New York City with Chaz Palminteri.
Okay.
Which is crazy. This is more recent. Dolph was in a DC superhero movie, and he was also in the sequel. Can you name the movie?
What was it? I've never seen it, but I think he's in Aquaman.
He is. He's in Aquaman. Nailed it. What is Dolph's real first name?
It's not Adolf, is it?
No. That's that's what my dad said too. You want to try one more, or just give up on it? It's not that easy.
No, I don't know.
It's just kind of funny. It's Hans.
Hans.
Hans. Hans.
Dolph is better. Dolph is better.
Dolph is way better. How tall is Dolph?
My guess he's 6'5".
6'5".
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
And my dad got that one too, and I thought that would be way harder. But like 6'5" is just this height that you think of like this guy's huge, but he's not like a tower. He's not like he's not like Shaquille O'Neal size, but he's big. 6'5". Okay, this one is super random, and this is our last question. Dolph played the lead and title role in a Marvel-based film in 1989. What was it?
The Punisher.
Good shit. That's a good answer. Like, I didn't know that.
Did that go to theaters?
So I was reading about it. It did, but I heard it was a bust, and I don't know if it went to domestic theaters. But I read it had like an $11 million budget, but I guess it was an international success. So I think it grossed like 30 million internationally.
Oh wow,
which is crazy because I didn't even know he was in it.
You didn't know he was in it?
No, I know
the hair, because his hair was black and he's normally blonde. So
it's like I couldn't imagine him as Frank Castle.
I don't think I may have seen clips of it, but I've never seen the movie. I mean, all those like before the MCU of what it is like now, like the Marvel movies back then were just like horrible,
just trash, like almost like fan films.
But like I could see why that made a lot of money overseas, because like those guys at the time were like international huge stars. They would sell the movie rights they'll sell the foreign rights before they sell, they'd make their money on the foreign rights of the film.
Well, it was like 4 years after Rocky, and at that point he's just this huge like European star. I would say probably European and Asian star, but like huge star, like this action guy who's like tough and got the accent and whatever. And like I'm sure a lot of fans of his at the time were like, oh, well, he's in this beat 'em up action movie where he's just killing people. Like, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of want, like, part of me kind of wants to watch it, and a lot of me doesn't, because I know it's just going to be so bad.
Yeah.
But all right, well, so that went a little better than you thought it would.
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren
probably
trivia.
got like 3 or 4, if that.
3 or 4 is good. I think I only got like 1 or 2 when I was putting it together. So 3 or 4 is really good. Before we wrap this up, did you want to say anything about your podcast, what it's called?
Sure.
Where to find it? Or anything else you want to talk about? You have a microphone.
I do. It's a really nice microphone. You got a nice setup.
Thank you.
Kind of jealous of my setup. My setup is kind of blah. But I do a podcast called Trailer Teardowns with a friend. He's based out of New York. We basically we'll break down a trailer. We'll tear it down, talk about it. We don't do like a watch react. It's more we come in, have watched it, talk about what stood out to us, what we liked, what we didn't like, maybe poke some funny things. If it's like a really good trailer or teaser that like we're just like we don't know what's going on, like we'll kind of like we'll speculate on what it is, what could it be about? Is it about monsters or like whatever it is? Like we'll just speculate and talk just some random stuff there.
Cool.
But you can find it
YouTube everywhere.
Spotify is our launch platform, but yeah, you can find it wherever you find your podcasts.
Very cool. Well, anybody listening, if you're into trailers, check out Angel's podcast as well, Trailer Teardown. And while I have you talking about trailers, what was your like favorite trailer or teaser in the last 5 or 6 months?
5 or 6 months. Let's say I'm gonna just reference to see what
That's fine.
Our past episodes.
I can tell you mine while you're looking it up if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine was that Clayface teaser.
That was a good teaser. We haven't done an episode on that yet. But.
There's this guy that cuts for Buddha Jones named Bill Neal, who's like the fucking master of horror. Like every studio just goes to him and they're like, "Please, can you do our?"
Oh, cool. Are you like close to them?
No, I don't know the guy. Okay. It sounds like I know the guy. I don't know the guy at all.
Okay.
I know a lot of people that know him.
We wanted to bring on someone as a guest who's like in that aspect of the industry where they like maybe they work at a trailer house. Maybe they're an
We can-
editor
we
or a
can talk-
producer.
we can talk about that like after this because I'm more than happy to like at least try to get you in touch with somebody.
Yeah,
'Cause
it'd be
I've-
cool just to get like someone's like take on like a trailer maybe that they didn't work on or whatever, and just like but it'd be cool.
It's a tricky thing because I've asked a lot of some of the people I used to work with to come on this podcast, and I'd say like 80% of them are concerned about talking about anything in the industry because they don't want like their opinion to affect their work. So I've had a few people that I've reached out to that still work in trailer marketing that have said, okay, yeah, I'd be happy to join you on a podcast. But I'd say like 80% of those people I've reached out to are like, yeah, I don't know if my job would let me do that. So thanks so much for the opportunity, but not for me.
Yeah, I feel like some people also are just like they're like hesitant to like, oh, I don't want to talk bad about this or or be biased about this. But it's like, oh, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, you're just having fun. I mean, we're just like adults talking about movies and movie trailers, and like we're not knocking anybody. I always try to remind, like I've done a couple episodes where I'm just like completely bashing movies. Like I bashed this movie Apex that came out on Netflix like a couple months ago. I respect everybody that's doing the work, and like the work that they're doing is cool. Not everybody that works on these creative projects is gonna get the best creative project. Like it's a job.
Yeah, it's a job. It's all subjective too,
Super subjective.
You may hate it. This like the 5 other people next to you will love it. So
Absolutely. Did you find your favorite?
I mean,
Or one of your favorites.
Our most recent. I'll just go on our most recent episode. So sometimes we'll do most of our episodes. We do like one trailer teardown. We just look at one trailer. But sometimes because there's so many trailers that come out, so like we do a quick takes episode, which will cover like more than
A
one.
few of
so,
them,
like
yeah.
so we did a horror themed episode.
Okay, there's a lot of horror movies right now.
In May specifically, and this was all. So we covered 3 trailers or teasers that came out in May: Obsession, Passenger, and Backrooms.
Okay.
And my producing partner, co-host, he's not a fan of horror movies, and so
I'm a huge fan of horror.
Me
movies.
too. And so how our show goes, we dissect the trailers, and then at the end we'll say, are you going to see it in theaters? Will you wait for streaming?
Or not
or
see it
will
at
you
all?
skip it? And 100% of the times he says no
To the horror
movies.
Yeah.
So like this was sort of like kind of pointless, but I felt like it was worth talking about, and we did like a different rating system for him.
Yeah.
We ranked them. But anyways, I really like the Obsession teasers. They put out like these short teasers that I thought were really effective.
I remember those, yeah.
And they were just like a scene. It was like a little brief scene. The first one was just like a brief scene where he's on the calling tech support for that One Wish Willow thing, in the car, and there's like these flashes, and then that was it.
Isn't there one with her just like laughing at the party too, or whatever?
Well, that I think is in the
trailer.
I
maybe?
think that's the full trailer,
Okay.
which I didn't watch before I saw the movie. I was like, all right, I don't need to see any more. I saw these 2 teasers. I think they did a really good job. I like those. I thought the Backrooms teaser was really good too, because like even though it's a full trailer, it's like 2.5 minutes long. No idea what it was about. It's like, what is this? It's like it's really effective. It doesn't fall into the horror tropes of like trailers where it's like fast cutting, show all the jump scares. You see that person's gonna get killed. Like it's none of that. It's just like you're just like all this mystery, weird, spooky images, grainy footage. I think that was a really good trailer as well.
Okay. And then I didn't even watch that one because I still want to see Backrooms, and I don't want to ruin any of it for me.
Okay.
Because I know,
this wouldn't ruin anything.
No, but like you and I know how these things work, and like they still take some of the best shots.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to like sometimes for me in my head I'm like I don't want to ruin like the best imagery.
I know it's a double-edged sword because I love watching trailers, but I'm like, but now when I go see the movie, I'm like, okay, this is the scene where that thing's gonna happen, and sort of, it's kind of sort of catch-22 for me, but.
Yeah. Well, all right. Sweet. Well, thank you again for joining me on this episode. And if you want to do one of these again, obviously you're more than welcome to do another one with me.
Cool.
But everybody, please check out Angel's podcast as well. And thank you for listening to another episode of The Hunger Games.